One short statement from U.S. military command has led to a rather uncomfortable situation for the White House. The Trump administration has been rapidly backpedaling on plans to create a border force with Kurds in northern Syria after sparking a furious reaction from Washington's key ally near there, that of Turkey. The Secretary of State later tried to clarify the situation, saying the U.S. has no intention of creating a border security force in Syria.
Is he saying that when the Pentagon says we're going to try to come up with a force of 30,000 people that's wrong, or is he just disputing the label?
I would have to refer you to the Department of Defense on that. I think they were clear in the statement that they put out, so let me just refer you to them on that. Okay.
But I'm asking you about Tilerson's comments yesterday, where he said there's no border security force.
That's not what it is. Look, I'd have to refer you to the Turkish government about what they became so concerned about, and the fact that somebody misspoke. And I'm not going to name any names, and neither is the secretary, but somebody clearly just misstated their policy. It's as simple as that.
However, the announcement had already threatened to create a new conflict in war-torn Syria, with Turkey immediately moving its tanks straight to the border. It later said it had no option but to continue the operation. In turn, Kurds then took to the streets to protest against Ankara's military actions and to denounce Erdogan's remarks.
Afrin will be Erdogan's graveyard. Today, hundreds of thousands are protesting to tell him that the people of Afrin will never leave their land.
The international community should send a message to Turkey telling them to stop. We have both the YPG and SDF, so we can defend ourselves.
We discussed the latest tensions between the US and Turkey with international relations professor Jamal Wakim. He believes we're currently seeing various stages of damage control being set into motion.
Is trying to limit the damage that was caused to the Turkish-American relations with this new American move by establishing this border army under the pretext of protecting the border, the Syrian border with Iraq and with Turkey. But I believe that the main geopolitical objective here is for the United States to have a surrogate army in eastern Syria that could ensure that the United States have a foothold on Syrian soil and prevents the Syrian government from extending its control over the northeast part of Syria.
So as regional tensions between the two key allies worsen, RT's Igor Zhdanov has been taking a closer look.
The Middle East has always proved a tough nut to crack for the United States. Hardly helping matters now, though, is lacking a unified game plan. Days ago, the Pentagon proudly announced it would create a so-called Syrian border security force.
The coalition is working jointly with the Syrian Democratic Forces to establish and train the new Syrian Border Security Force. Currently, there are approximately 230 individuals training in the BSF's inaugural class, with the goal of a final force size of approximately 30,000.
But the US apparently forgot to run the idea past Turkey. For Ankara, Kurdish military groups are terrorist factions. It's as clear-cut as that. Hence, Washington's announcement drove Turkey hopping mad.
America has admitted that it has established a terrorist army at our border, and it's up to us to strangle that terror army at birth.
Turkey power projected additional troops, along with tanks, to the southern border with Syria. And amid the spat, America's top diplomat Rex Tillerson intervened to save the day.
The entire situation has been misportrayed, misdescribed. Some people misspoke. We're not creating a border security force at all.
Being a mouthpiece of US foreign policy these days is one hell of a job, especially when you have to contradict your own military to keep an ally happy. But arguably, that's not Tillerson's biggest brain wrench right now. Explaining why the US military is still in Syria is, first, it was the "we need to fight the terrorists" mantra.
Our military policy in Syria has not changed. Our priority remains the defeat of ISIS.
So-called Islamic State has, to all intents and purposes, now been reduced to a ragtag of guerrilla fighters. But surprise, surprise, it's left to Tillerson to come up with a new purpose for the US military in Syria.
It is crucial to our national defense to maintain a military and diplomatic presence in Syria. Stable, unified, independent Syria under post-Assad leadership is functioning as a state. Iranian influence in Syria is diminished.
And as if life wasn't hard enough for Tillerson, he has the Tweeter-in-Chief as his president. Rex is a bit of a tyrannosaurus when it comes to social media, but he tries to survive.
I don't even have a Twitter account that I can follow what he's tweeting, so my staff usually has to print his tweets out and hand them to me.